Hello all. Today we are going to start a very important concept of class 11th, that is production function. Before we begin, I want you to think about one simple question. How does a producer produces a goods or services? A producer needs certain resources. For example, a farmer needs land, seed, labor, machinery, and technology to produce crops. Similarly, a factory needs machine, labor, raw material, and technology to produce goods. These resources used in the process of production are called input or factors of production. Now, the next question is, what do we get by using these inputs? Yes, we get the output. So production is essentially a process where input are transformed into output. Okay. In simple words, it tells us how much output can be produced by using different quantities of production. So in that way, we can represent the production function in two formats. One is short run and another one is long run. These time periods are defined on the basis of usage of input. When production is in the short run, the inputs are in a two form. One is fixed factor, another one is variable factor, or one is fixed factor, another one is variable input. On the other side, in long run, no such kind of differentiation we can follow, because in long run we have the capacity, the producer has the capacity to adjust all its inputs. So in long run, no as such bifurcation is available like fixed factor or variable factor. But in short run, factors are divided into two parts, fixed and variable. Okay, so we can represent this as quantity or production has a functional relationship with labor and capital. So in short run, this capital is fixed, but in long run, both the things are variable. Okay, both the factors are in variation. Got it? Now, see, if production function is concerned with a technical relationship, we are not talking about the price of inputs or the price of outputs. Here we are considering the price as constant because we are focusing on short run now. But we are going to focus on relationship between quantity of input and what they are going to produce in terms of output. Now there is another important point. Production function shows that maximum possible output that can be produced from a given input within the technology, and that technology will be constant in short run. Okay, and that can be movable in long run. So there is one more point of difference between short run and long run, that is technological advancement, which is constant in short run and flexible in long run. Now suppose a factory has a fixed number of machines and we keep increasing the number of workers. Initially, production may increase significantly because more workers can utilize the machine more efficiently. But can we keep increasing workers indefinitely and expect production to increase at the same rate? Is it possible? No. My dear students, it is not possible. After a certain point, too many workers have to share the same machine and workspace. As a result, the additional output generated by each additional workers may start falling. This brings us to an important distinction between fixed input and variable inputs. A fixed input is an input whose quantity cannot be changed in the short run. For example, the size of factory or the number of machines may remain fixed. So now you can understand the fixed factor. A variable input is an input whose quantity can be changed in short run. Labor is a common example. Therefore, we can study production function. In short run, we usually consider one factor as variable and other factor as fixed. Now, I want you to remember these three important terms for this class. One is input, then production process, and then output. Okay. So, and the relationship between input and output given technology is called the production function. So, if someone will ask you what is production function, we can easily say that production function is basically the relationship between input and output. Okay. As I can see, yes, the input and output. One final point which I can add on here, if technology improves, the producer may able to produce more output with the same quantity of input. So please write this definition right now, that production function refers to the functional relationship between physical input and physical output given the state of technology. Keep this concept clear because it will form the foundation of your next topic, that is the total product, average product, and marginal product. Okay. Now, if we're talking about total product, average product, and marginal product, these are the calculation method of production. Product or output refers to volume of goods and services, and TP, this is total product is considered TP, average product is considered AP, and marginal product is considered MP. So TP, AP, and MP has a certain characteristics. Like TP is what? TP is the total amount of goods and services produced within the economy during a certain time period. Okay. So total amount of goods and services mean physical product. That means total output. Now this total output, we can get the per unit variable input with the help of average product, and this average product can be calculated with the help of total product. So average product is what? Total product divided by labor. Now let's talk about marginal product. Marginal product is talking about the addition in total product. Like average product is talking about per unit variable input. On the other side, marginal product is talking about every unit what addition comes, which is going to add in total. So this addition we can derive from the change. Previous unit से present unit में कितना change आया. Okay. So the formula of this marginal product is change in total product upon change in labor, which is we can write TPN minus TPN minus 1. Now this total product, average product, and marginal product can be considered in short run. As we know, we have studied the short run and long run production function. So our class 11 study is going to focus on short run production function, and this short run production function is also known as return to a factor. Return to a factor, because we are going to take all factor fixed, only one factor is variable, and we are going to see the change of that factor in the entire production process. While other side, in long run, all factors are variable. So here the other name of this long run production function is return to scale. Okay. So we can see in our syllabus only we'll talk about short run production function, or we can say return to a factor, or what else we can say, law of variable proportion. What else we can say? Law of variable proportion. Okay. So we'll talk about law of variable proportion. Let's see. Law of variable proportion क्या कहता है? Law of variable proportion कहता है, as we increase the input, initially the total product increases with increasing rate, then increases with decreasing rate, and then finally it comes negative. When and why this law of variable proportion applied? When we are in short run, assumptions are there, short run, and we are doing only productive activities. Okay. And all the factors are divided into two parts, fixed and variable. All factors are fixed except one variable factor. So we are going to see the change of this variable factor in total output. And technology, as we discussed earlier, we have assumed that technology will remain constant. So these are the assumptions on which the law of variable proportion will apply. Okay, so we have to just memorize these assumptions. Now next, this is the diagram. Up, if I want to make the diagram, just see, this is my, how I have to make, this is the diagram. Okay, so clearly see, I have changed the rate. This is my point. In this diagram, this is the point. Okay, so here you can see TP increases with increasing rate. How we can define the increases with increasing rate? Suppose ये change अगर मैं लेती हूँ, so इस point से इस point पे change का आप reflection देखिए. Point 1 से point 2 तक जाने में ये increases with increasing rate में इतना change आया. ऑन दी अदर साइड, अगर मैं यहां पर जा रही हूं सेम एरिया कवर करने के लिए और आपको रेट ऑफ चेंज दिखाऊं, सो ये रेट ऑफ चेंज इज वेरी लेस. सो इंक्रीज तो हुआ, एडिशन तो हुआ इतने अमाउंट का, बट जो प्रीवियस एडिशन था उसके कंपैरिजन में अभी प्रेजेंट का एडिशन कम हुआ. सो दिस इज द चेंजिंग रेट. So that's why this point is called point of inflection. This point is considered as point of inflection. What this point of inflection says? This point of inflection says that from this point, the TP increasing rate is now changing. Initially, it is increasing with increasing rate. Now it is increasing with decreasing rate. Then later on, it will become constant. Okay? Got it? Same goes with marginal product. Why TP is doing so? Because every additional unit's performance is reflecting with the TP's performance. So initially fixed factor के साथ variable factor लगा और हमें एक अच्छा रिटर्न दिया. वेरिएबल फैक्टर के उस एक्सपीरियंस को सेकेंड वेरिएबल फैक्टर ने इंजॉय किया और बेहतर रिटर्न दे दिया. बट जब हम थर्ड टाइम गए उसी फिक्स फैक्टर के साथ हमने तीसरा एक नया वेरिएबल फैक्टर लगा दिया, सो हमारा जो रिटर्न है थर्ड यूनिट का वो डिटेरिएट हो गया. व्हाई? बिकॉज फिक्स फैक्टर की फिक्सिटी ने वहां रोल प्ले कर दिया और वो टाइमली यूज होने के लिए ओवर यूटिलाइजेशन की वजह से उसकी प्रोडक्टिविटी डिटेरिएट होने लगी. यहाँ पर लॉ ऑफ डिमिनिशिंग रिटर्न अप्लाई हो गया. जो रिटर्न हमें मिल रहा है, अगर हम फैक्टर में कोई टेक्नोलॉजिकल एडवांसमेंट नहीं करते हैं, कोई चेंजेस नहीं करते हैं फिक्स फैक्टर में, सो उसकी जो रिटर्न की कैपेसिटी है वो डाउन होती जाएगी. बिकॉज यहाँ पर लॉ ऑफ डिमिनिशिंग रिटर्न अप्लाई होगा एंड उसकी वजह से after reaching the maximum point at second unit, the marginal productivity of each additional unit goes on decreasing. Okay, got it? So you can see in the first phase TP increases, MP is also increasing. Second phase TP increases with decreasing rate, MP starts falling, and because MP starts falling, every additional unit MP's contribution getting down because of law of diminishing marginal return, that down performance adding to TP, and TP increases but decreasing rate. And once it reaches at the maximum level, that is called marginal productivity zero, TP reaches its maximum point. Okay. Now moving further, there is a different phases of law of variable proportion as we discussed. Phase 1, phase 2 and phase 3. Phase 1 has a proper characteristics like more and more input gives more output, TP increases with increasing rate. सेकेंड में हम कहते हैं कि एड्स लेसर अमाउंट ऑफ आउटपुट, धीरे धीरे लेस होता जाएगा बिकॉज टीपी इंक्रीजेस विद डिक्रीजिंग रेट. थर्ड फेज में हम कह रहे हैं टीपी बिकम्स डिक्लाइनिंग बिकॉज एमसी इज नेगेटिव. सो दिस इज ऑल वी हैव लर्न. ऑपरेशनल फेज कौन सा होगा? ऑलवेज रिमेंबर, ऑपरेशनल फेज होगा फेज 2 बिकॉज टीपी यहाँ पर मैक्सिमम पॉइंट पे जाता है और एवरी वेरिएबल के लिए वेरिएबल फैक्टर की जो मार्जिनल प्रोडक्टिविटी है वो पॉजिटिव है. मतलब हर एक वेरिएबल फैक्टर पॉजिटिवली उस प्रोडक्शन प्रोसेस में कंट्रीब्यूट कर रहा है. इसीलिए प्रोड्यूसर सेकेंड फेज पे ऑपरेट करता है. Why producer will not be in first phase? Because employment of every additional labor मतलब एवरी एडिशनल जो वेरिएबल फैक्टर एम्प्लॉय कर रहा है उससे आउटपुट इंक्रीज हो रहा है और प्रोड्यूसर मोटिवेट हो रहा है और प्रोडक्शन करने के लिए, तो वो कंटिन्यूएशन में आ जाएगा और वो फर्स्ट फेज को क्रॉस करके सेकंड फेज में मूव कर जाएगा। बट जब वो सेकेंड फेज में है तो वो एंजॉय कर रहा है एमपी की पॉजिटिविटी और टीपी का मैक्सिमम पॉइंट। वंस इट रीचेस टीपी's मैक्सिमम पॉइंट, then each variable factor gives negative contribution. Once they start giving negative contribution, then this phase is ruled out because technical efficiency खत्म हो जाएगी, producer rational नहीं रह जाएगा. Why any producer will face the negativity? So they will not work in third phase, they will not work in second phase. Where they will work? They will work in phase, they will not work in third phase, they will not work in first place. Where they will work? They will work in second place. Okay, got it? Now see why it is happening so. Because इंक्रीजिंग रेट, फर्स्ट फेज में बेटर यूटिलाइजेशन ऑफ फिक्स फैक्टर, मशीन नई है, बढ़िया तरीके से काम होगा, एफिशिएंट लेबर लगा हुआ है और मशीन इनडिविजिबल है. इनडिविजिबल मींस आप मशीन को एक ही तरीके से यूज कर सकते हैं. Once an investment is made in indivisible factor, then addition of more and more unit improves the utilization of fixed factor. So हम फिक्स फैक्टर में कोई भी चेंजेस नहीं ला पा रहे बिकॉज ऑफ इनडिविजिबिलिटी इन नेचर. ऑन द अदर साइड व्हाई सेकंड फेज इज परफॉर्मिंग बेटर? बिकॉज सेकंड फेज में जो भी प्रोड्यूसर काम कर रहा है with all these factors are imperfectly substitute, means the labor 1 is doing the task, labor 2 can't do, labor 3 can't do, labor 4 can't do. Likewise the machine what doing task, labor can't do. So any factor cannot be replaced completely. So definitely if factors are not substituted to each other, then the performance will hamper. Okay. And second, in this phase, we have utilized the optimum way of fixed factor. So we have already reached the combination, which is optimum combination. Among different combinations, variable and fixed factor, there is an optimum combination which we have achieved in second phase. After making the optimum use of fixed factor, the marginal return of variable factor becomes diminishing. Why it is diminishing? Because we have already reached the overutilization of fixed factor. So to avoid that, we don't want to reach to the third phase. And once we reach the third phase, it gives a limitation to fixed factor. It gives a poor coordination between variable factor and fixed factor, which is very sad. And then it decreases the efficiency of variable factor. So producer doesn't want to be in this situation. Producer always prefers to live in second phase of production. Okay. Now, law of diminishing return, as I say, law of diminishing return works only in this, where marginal productivity declines. This is the area. So this is my law of diminishing marginal return. Okay. So production function या law of variable proportion LVP की जो functioning है वो क्यों है? Because यहाँ पे law of diminishing return चलता है. जस्ट लाइक कंज्यूमर का हमने पढ़ा था, वहां पे लॉ ऑफ डिमिनिशिंग मार्जिनल यूटिलिटी चलता था, ऐसे यहाँ पे लॉ ऑफ डिमिनिशिंग रिटर्न चलता है. सो लॉ ऑफ डिमिनिशिंग रिटर्न से भी 3 मार्क का क्वेश्चन पूछा जाता है, सिर्फ इस लॉ को एक्सप्लेन करने के लिए. सो यहाँ पर आपको ये मार्जिनल प्रोडक्टिविटी का डाउनवर्ड स्लोप एंड दिस शेड्यूल इज इनफ टू एक्सप्लेन लॉ ऑफ डिमिनिशिंग रिटर्न. नाउ रिलेशनशिप का डायग्राम आता है, टीपी हमने बनाया, एमपी हमने बनाया, एंड फर्स्ट फेज, सेकेंड फेज एंड थर्ड फेज में दोनों की क्या कंडीशन है? फर्स्ट फेज में टीपी इंक्रीजेस, एमपी आल्सो इंक्रीजेस. सेकेंड फेज में टीपी इंक्रीजेस विद डिक्रीजिंग रेट बिकॉज एमपी स्टार्ट्स फॉलिंग बट इट्स पॉजिटिव, सो इट इज एडिंग in every additional unit of labor, it is adding in total product, but the rate of add is lesser as compared to first phase. On the other side, third phase, the TP reaches its maximum, MP reaches its 0 point, and then after MP starts negative, which is contributed in TP negatively, that's why TP starts falling. So this is how you can write the relationship of TP and MP. Likewise, you can write the relationship of AP and MP. How? You can see MP is increases faster, then getting lower, lower and lower because of law of diminishing marginal return. Here see, when MP increases, as I can give you example of strike rate and run rate. So MP is like run rate, which gives you the idea of every ball how much run is required, and AP is giving you the strike rate on an average how the batsman is playing. So you can see the change in total looks little slower as compared to change in every additional unit. So marginal is showing change in every additional unit. That's why it is way more faster as compared to average. So that's why the competency based question arises that does when MP increases, TAP is also increases? So answer is yes. But what if MP falls, AP also falls? No. At a certain point of time, when MP falls, AP also increases because every additional unit adding to total which shows slow reflection in average productivity, and average product intersect marginal product at its maximum point. Average product goes down, but it never becomes zero. It will go to parallel to x-axis. Okay, because every additional unit is giving some contribution, and that's why it will not be negative. So this is how you have learned the topic of production function. In the next video, definitely we'll talk about cost. Thank you so much.